Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Unplugged Tech. Today we have two amazing organizers on the show and organizers for WordFest. WordFest is a global celebration of WordPress, bringing our community together in a safe environment. And guess what? We are in three different time zones for this episode. How cool is it? Uh, Let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Meher Bala. I'm a WordPress developer and consultant. I am a part of the Make WordPress marketing team and also a co-host of the show. I'm going to pass the mic to Ferry to introduce herself and to introduce our two amazing guests.
Hi. Okay, I'm so happy and excited to be on the show right now because, first of all, this is the first media collab and it's so exciting and interesting because for Unplugged Tech, we are less than 1 year old and we already got this event which really aligns with our beliefs and values as well. Okay, so yes, my name is Ferry Dharawat. I'm co-host of Unplugged Tech. I am basically a writer, but work as a content manager and I draw and doodle and do things. Okay, now I'm gonna pass the mic to Kate. Hi, Kate. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kate DeRoja. I'm over in America in Michigan. So it's about 9:30 in the morning here, the Eastern time zone. I'm a writer and an editor. I do a lot of editing. Actually, it's what I generally get paid for. And I was really thrilled to be able to come on board with Big Orange Heart and help out with WordFest in a marketing capacity. I'm also part of the team at Hero Press. I get a week off between WordFest before we launch into getting the expansion on the ground for Hero Press. So it's a busy 2021 so far. Dan,
would you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm Dan Maybe. I'm the founder of Big Orange Heart, a registered charity that supports and promotes positive well-being and mental health within the remote working communities. I'm very pleased to be here to be able to talk to you about Big Orange Heart as well as WordFest, WordFest Live 2021, which is happening in exactly 7 days' time.
And we couldn't be more excited about that.
The countdown begins.
Right?
Absolutely does, yes, yeah, and we're really pleased to have Unplugged Tech as a media partner across the event. So we really appreciate and thank you for helping raise awareness of of what we're doing and what we're bringing to the community.
Yeah, having you come on board really highlights the diversity that we're working to achieve with this event. It's about highlighting everyone, about giving, newer productions like yours an opportunity to be seen on the global stage, while also combining, giving you the opportunity to rub elbows with people who have more experience so you can learn from them. It's when we come together as a community, we have the opportunity to exchange so much information that allows everyone to grow. And with WordFest, we can do it in a fun, friendly environment. There's a lot of opportunity for networking. There's a lot of opportunity to learn, and there's a lot of opportunity to talk face to face with the different sponsors, which a lot of us haven't been able to do for a year or so. I mean, nobody wants to sit on a sales call, or not a sales call, but like a support call. Now you can walk up to their booth and say, hey, what's going on with this?
Absolutely. And also it's in 4 different time zones, so everyone has a chance to hear new speakers, new people talking, meeting sponsors. Everyone gets a chance across the entire globe.
And the
Absolutely.
scale is huge, like 48 speakers. Wow. I mean, how did you guys even manage to do that? I mean, it's like I want to be part. I want to listen to so many of them. It's like you really handpicked them. So yeah, that's really nice.
It's that's a really good question. How do we manage that? And the answer is we've got a fantastic team of volunteers behind the scenes. Every person supporting the WordFest is a volunteer at the moment. So I'm deeply grateful for every person that's given their time to enable this. And we've got the likes of Kate with us right now. handling media partners and social media and marketing. So there's an awful lot going across there. Michelle Frechette has been taking on our speakers lead and covered off a huge amount. We've got Howard, we've got Paul, we've got Giles. There's so many people sitting in the background that are just enabling us to bring this to the community and have this this time. We've certainly had it's been some very, very challenging times, very challenging period that we collectively as a globe have, as a global community, have gone through, and we just wanted some time to be able to come together, and we've missed that in-person connection, that ability to come together. We, as a charity, we set out to continue to deliver our events. We've delivered events for a long time to try and help reduce social isolation and bring remote workers together so we can be together as a community. And of course, when we couldn't do that in person, we had to find an alternative solution. And for the last 9 months or so, we actually developed a custom solution that enabled us to deliver virtual events, and we've had a phenomenal response from the community in relation to it. But we've also been able to iterate and develop and build upon it based on the feedback that we've had from the community. So, we're excited to deliver this into the community and see how we all come together.
That's interesting. 9 months of planning and 6 days to go.
Yes.
Why WordFest? Where did this name come up from?
It was really around the kind of the concept of a festival and a celebration, and really just celebrating all that we are as a community, and as a WordPress community. There's so much. It's such a rich, diverse, incredible community that concept of a festival really felt like it was all encompassing and an opportunity to celebrate and be a community of people, a body of people together.
Yeah, and we really highlight that. Like we've worked to make it that kind of engaging atmosphere where it's fun and it's relaxed and people are just available and kind of roaming around between tents. We've got tents, we've got tables, we've got like it's really set up to be a fun 24 hours.
Good music also, I read.
We have been, yes, it's been challenging, if we're honest, the idea of delivering music into this, because from a technical perspective, trying to certainly bring collective individuals playing music at the same time is very, very difficult technically, but that is certainly, yes, there's still work going on behind the scenes to try and enable that.
Looking forward to attending most of the time zones, because I fluctuate between time zones because of the contribution towards the marketing. So hopefully we'll try and attend most of the talks.
Well, and I was thinking about that too. We mentioned earlier, I was excited to see that Oceania is really my Eastern time zones, just regular evening, the day before, which is always weird. But I love that. I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom for 20 years, and there's so many things in our lives that keep us from doing things often during like the middle part of our day. And with a 24-hour event, you can come and go as you feel, as you're able to, as you're interested, and so you can catch you might be able to catch an EMEA session before you head off to work, or an Oceania session before I go to bed the night before, and all of the sessions will be up all day long. So as a time zone ends, you'll still be able to go back into that time zone and listen to a session if you want to. And then once you create your membership profile, you'll be able to go back in and access them as long as they're up. I don't think we have an end date for that yet. So they'll just be sitting there waiting for you whenever you've missed somebody or need to learn something or just need a good laugh, depending on the session,
People like me who are late workers sit and attend the late night sessions.
Absolutely. Yep. Yes, the idea. So the idea here, we start off. It's a 24-hour event, and we start off in the Oceania region. So I have to look at these times because I can't remember off the top of my head. But we start off at 10 a.m. AEDT, which is equivalent to 11 p.m. UTC on Thursday, the 21st of January. So we spend 6 hours in the Oceania region. We then move on to the Asia region. So we start in the Asia region at 10:30 a.m. IST, which is actually 5 a.m. UTC on the 22nd of January. Moving on to the EMEA, which starts at 11 a.m. UTC, and then finally finishing up in the Americas, where we arrive at 12 p.m. EST, which is 5 p.m. UTC. So it's always basically spending 6 hours, and it's roughly it's between 10:30, 11 till between 4 and 5 in the evening. So we've tried to create it so it's sort of the middle of the day that we're running whilst we're in that region. But of course, people are welcome to dip in and out at any point throughout the entire 24-hour period.
And it's really easy to come and go. So we were talking a little bit ago about technology and I are not friends. Like, I'm just not comfortable with technology. I can't wrap my head around it the way that other people seem to be able to. And so I've really avoided online events. I usually go to at as few as 5, as many as 12 WordCamps in a season. And I did no virtual events last year because it's just, I don't want to manage that technology. It's just not the same kind of feel. And WordFest isn't like that at all. The intro project, the ability to just get into the event is really simple. And it's not even, it's about like joining a Zoom call, but with less technology. When you get on the inside, you can move between different sections. You can easily move from table to table, see who's there before you join it, move from tent to tent. It's just a really clean, simple interface to use, which I'm particularly excited about because, it makes the event, I can focus on enjoying the event without having to manage a lot of bulky technology.
I really appreciate that, because right now, last year, it was all about really adapting. And, there was this kind of exhaustion about, getting your work done, thinking you're not productive enough, and being on the meetings all the time. So there was kind of an online fatigue already, everyone knows. So something like this is very important, and you can say it's also innovative, trying to make it very easy. The point of the technology is to make our lives easy.
Absolutely. We very quickly, when we moved from the in-person to virtual events, first thing we did was jump on Zoom, to try and come together as a collective. Very quickly realized that Zoom just isn't the right tool. It's a great tool for certain things, but it's it's a business, it's a productivity tool. It's not necessarily designed for multi-room events. And that idea of jumping around between different Zoom rooms, it just adds such an incredible cognitive load when you're trying to attend an event, because it's where I'm meant to be, which Zoom room I'm meant to be in, and then you've then also got the issue of not knowing what you're actually stepping into when you jump into a Zoom room, because of course you don't know who's in the call, what's happening in the call. Is it a conversation that you want to be part of? So we've tried to do our best to reduce that as people move about freely within the platform.
And I also really
go ahead.
Oh, okay. I also I think this is, an interesting aspect of this is that you can also use it as a way to meet up with your friends that you've been missing. So, we've all been away from people that we really care about, even particularly in the community. We're not traveling to events together like we're used to doing. And there's a loss there. And this platform allows you to spin up your own table, to sit down with some friends and talk for a little while face to face, really see each other, and in just a different kind of environment.
Yeah, this table concept is very new, because the first time I attended one of Big Orange Heart's meetup, I realized, the difference between, these tables, and, people who are already there on the table. So if you have friends, come and join, or, start your own table where you can invite friends. So it's a pretty interesting concept, and thanks to Big Orange Heart to invent this, and maybe future someone else also try and have this.
Yeah, I think interaction, making it interactive is very important, and they're not just static. They're not just sitting and looking, but they're doing something. I think that's very important. So the audience and everyone also feels very engaged, and like they're doing something. And I think they're not just observing, but they're also active part of the event.
It also allows us to go with kind of a flat structure, where like if you walk into the community tent, you can see the sponsors tables right alongside the more personal tables. And so like I've seen this even at WordCamps in person, but in some virtual events, sponsors were feeling buried. You know, you have to click through so many different layers of links because, you know, I mean, websites, web pages weren't necessarily intended for any of this. And so with this, we can keep it flat so everybody's out in the open. So it's easy to, you know, bump into a sponsor just as easily as it is to bump into a friend.
Yeah, the virtual events has, you know, like sponsor rooms are a little empty, than physical word camps and other stuff. So interesting to see what WordFest has to offer.
And it really is about the movement of people in a virtual environment that we're trying to encourage and trying to create a way for people to have that freedom of movement. So you're not, you're not stuck in one large video call or one large conference call. You can actually move about. And if you wanted to have a one-to-one chat, or two or three of you come together, and then we've got that that facility and the ability to do that very, very easily.
So for people who have not registered, what will you tell them? Why is it, what are the reasons, you should go and register at WordFest?
So we've got, as we mentioned, I mean, there's just an absolute phenomenal lineup of speakers. We've got 48 sessions over the 24-hour period. The sessions are very varied in terms of the topic, the subject matter. We wanted to make sure that we were covering, when we say the WordPress community, that really is quite an all-encompassing term. There are so many skills and areas of expertise across that term. We've tried to bring that in the speaker lineup. So there's hopefully there's something there for everybody. And not only that, you've got obviously all those wonderful sessions to consume, but then we've got this more kind of interactive hallway track, which I feel we've been lacking for some time in that virtual space. So hopefully that concept of being able to just wander around and meet with your friends, colleagues, people that we've connected with across the community, it's an opportunity to do so. And if you haven't registered yet, wordfest.live/register.
Yeah, I'm really thrilled with the diverse range of topics we were able to cover. We put a little extra work on ourselves to include some topics that we just thought the community needed right now. We've got some really great technical WordPress talks that I've heard people are really excited about. Again, I'm not a technical WordPress kind of person. I'm really excited about the well-being talks that are coming, particularly as we come into the new year after the year that we just, managed to make it through. Having that extra boost from other people in the community, the ability to come together, and question and answer is still going to be available. So regardless of the topic, you can go in there and you can be asking your questions and still talking to the speakers who even though I believe that we're pre-recording all the talks, but the speakers are going to be there to engage in question and answer. And we really like being able to do that so that there's more opportunity for the speaker to be involved.
So we will have the, as Kate mentioned, they will have the pre-recorded session from the speaker, but then the speaker will actually also be live on camera for a live Q&A session post their talk as well. And of course, going to be interacting via the live chat through the talk. So really just trying to make it a very interactive way to come together.
I know as a speaker at a live event, I would like to double myself so that I had one of me doing one thing and one of me doing another thing,
I think the question answer is always the most interesting part, and to have the speaker also be around and have their talk in a different way, and then they also available, so approachable, I think that's going to be very interesting.
This puts less pressure on the speaker, to give the talk plus the question answers. Here, the talk is in process and they can also answer, in the chat or wherever, to the questions coming up, and it's relaxed also for the speakers.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll be in a better position to, answer in a really nice and more, informative way, and they enjoy the conversation, which is, I think, the part for Big Heart and the WordFest as well.
It's been interesting actually, that point. We've had and certainly from my personal experience as well through giving virtual talks over recent months, there's an additional level of pressure when you're having to pre-record your talk, I feel, because I think possibly it's because we know that we can do it again because it's being recorded. There's not that it's live, it's done, it's out there. So we've had a lot of conversations with speakers through this process where they found it actually more difficult to do a pre-recorded talk than to do a live talk, because I think because of that factor of, we just know that we can redo it. But you're absolutely right. On the day itself, now the talk is done, now we've got it, it's all been processed and so on in the video. The day itself is there's a lot less pressure because obviously they can allow the time to process the questions as they're coming through on the chat, and then of course join us on stage to answer them.
I never realized that re-recording makes pressure to people. So yeah, it does. When I'm
Really?
now thinking back, it does.
Actually, like, yes, I like perfectionist. Yes, I want to redo this again. If you're not great with editing, like technologically challenge me, oh my god, I need to do this again and again. So yeah, I can totally get it.
So
Yeah,
Dan,
it's certainly.
go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, it's certainly thrown up a few new challenges in terms of, collectively the WordFest team behind the team of volunteers are all WordCamp organisers. We've gone through those experiences of running, leading WordCamps, so we know that the challenges that they face. But this, there's certainly been some new and interesting challenges that come up, and we're looking forward to sharing that story, that journey after the event as well.
Looking forward to reading it. Maybe a lot of other events can incorporate, some tips and things from your end, because I know once WordFest finishes, WordCamp India comes. The next week is WordCamp India. So, and being a part of the organizing team in WordCamp India, it's not easy to handle an online event. And that also at a very huge scale. Maybe WordFest is a little bigger than WordCamp India, but it's still an online event.
Yep. Yeah, I think it doesn't really matter the size, the scale of the event. They still present the same challenges. That you still got certainly things, for us in particular, because we pre-recorded the sessions, but we were actually streaming the sessions live, even though they're pre-recorded. That throws in some quite challenging both technical issues and also accessibility issues. We need dealing with captioning for videos that are actually pre-recorded and then being streamed live makes that really quite difficult. So we've had to burn the captions onto the videos, so that, every video will be captioned and all captions will be visible throughout the whole the session that the speaker is delivering their talk for. That's something that, if I'm honest, certainly from my perspective, I was taking it a little bit for granted that we could run with the SRT files to have captioned videos, but hadn't really thought about the process of the fact that the video is going to be recorded but streamed live, so we couldn't then apply the SRT files to it.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of it is, whenever you're doing a first event, regardless of what it is, you just can't know what you don't know until the next day, or until it's blowing up around you. And we've been really fortunate. Dan's worked really hard to make sure that things, or at least he doesn't show us that things blow up around him. And with the team we've got, we've got a lot of experience. So I think we're catching problems early enough. But still, a first event is a first event. It's gonna have its glitches. Not WordFest, but other first events. Not WordCamp India.
First events are always, you do learn from your experience, but the next event also has its own challenges, has its own set of challenges, and maybe something new comes up. So I think all events have some or the other challenges. Even if you are 100% well prepared, maybe something will happen on the day. So that's something all organizers, I think I'm used to it because of online events in the last year.
Session at 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. every day, UTC, for our speakers, sponsors, and volunteers to be able to join that green room to just run through the technical sides of, you know, making sure microphones work, making sure we've got headphones, lighting, camera, because all of these things impact. You know, if we can reduce some of those issues before the event, then of course it will pay dividend when we actually deliver the event, having, you know, trying to reduce those technical issues.
That's right. And also, no event is complete without our amazing sponsors.
Absolutely.
You have some great sponsors.
We have, yes, and we're incredibly grateful for every company that has come on board, particularly our global sponsors, both GoDaddy and Fused, who are covering the full 24-hour event. They will have teams that will be part of it for the full 24 hours as well. So do drop in and check them out, as well as all our continent and subcontinent sponsors as well. There's and again, you can see all of those on wordfest.live.
Yeah, and like our media partners who are also on the sponsor page, so definitely go check them out. We've got another great mix of companies. We've got bigger companies, we've got smaller companies, and we even opened up a micro sponsor option for smaller companies or maybe new companies to the WordPress space to be able to come in and pitch in and help out as well. A lot of what Big Orange Heart does is for remote workers. It isn't just WordPress. And so we're seeing a lot of companies that are not just WordPress companies coming in and supporting this event.
I think this event is very well timed. It's one of the reasons like everyone wants this to be successful because it's much needed.
Yes. Yeah, we were hoping having it at the first of the year. Like that was one of the things we thought about when we were scheduling it, a couple of weeks into the new year. Is that, having gotten through the holidays, having, just knowing that those were going to be different, that having something in the new year to kind of refresh and restart with, that was a festival that was fun. And I'm here in Michigan where it's January. Well, obviously it's January everywhere, but January in Michigan tends to be pretty bleak. We get a lot of snow. We don't always have a lot of sunshine. And so having an online event that I can go to, because if it was an in-person event, it'd be really tricky to potentially get there. Like just physically traveling in January isn't always possible. And so having something, this time of year seemed like a real boost for everybody.
A lot of places, it's just, getting back into the working groove and, before, you full-fledged getting into it, just let's attend one conference and just get to reconnect with all the friends who we've not connected for the past year or so because of situations. So, Big Orange Heart is the one behind WordFest. Dan, can you tell us, what is Big Orange Heart for the people who don't know, and when did this initiative start?
Sure. So Big Orange Heart, as I've mentioned earlier on, is a registered charity. Our mission is to support and promote positive well-being and mental health within remote working communities. So that takes the form of multiple levels of support for individuals. And a big focus for us recently has been around the development of peer support communities. So we have what we call our life groups, which are having an incredible impact on the individuals that are partaking in those life groups. Small supportive groups of individuals that are very focused on supporting one another across the kind of remit of life issues is not necessarily a single focus within those. We also have the ability to provide access to professional mental health services, just dependent on the requirements of the individual. The charity itself is very focused on the people. We don't have a kind of a one-size-fits-all type solution. We want to make sure that the people that we are interacting and engaging with are receiving the support that they need for them themselves. Every individual is unique. The organization has been, so we started, excuse me, we became an official registered charity excuse me, we became an official registered charity in 2018. However, there'd been work going on prior to that. It was actually the concept originally was registered back in 2014. So it's been some time now, kind of in the making. But we pivoted into the new brand Big Orange Heart early in 2020. We were WP and Up prior to that. And the shift was had always been intended. We'd always intended to grow WP and Up into a larger service and to be able to support a larger community. But given the situation with the global pandemic at the time, it made sense for us to move that timeline forward. We actually weren't due to deliver that larger brand for a further 2 years. So it was a really interesting start to 2020, that very fast turnaround and evolvement into the larger organization that we are today.
So why Big Orange Heart? What is the, like, how did you get this name, Big Orange Heart? It's pretty catchy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, the Orange Heart was something that we as a community had adopted when we were WPing Up. The emoji, the Orange Heart, would appear on a lot of things across our Slack community, across our social media. There was just lots of places we were seeing this Orange Heart appear, and with orange being a very neutral color, it was from a kind of a psychological perspective, it was a very sensible color for us to want to associate ourselves with. And of course, the idea of being a big hearted community, it was something that we wanted to adapt to and evolve into. So hence Big Orange Heart was born.
Orange is often known for its vibrancy. So even Unplugged Tech has orange in it. So yeah.
It's one of those colors that features in so many. It's a color that designers absolutely love, but it can be such a difficult color as well, particularly from a design perspective, and particularly when we start getting into accessibility needs. It's very challenging sometimes.
Yes, orange can be a little challenging. So, Kate, you are a volunteer for Big Orange Heart. What is your experience?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I have been with Big Orange Heart since October, or mid September. They brought me on, and I have always known Big Orange Heart. Have been really enthusiastic about their mission, and was really excited to be able to come on and help them put WordFest on, and also get to know the charity. And I'm looking. We have a future planned where Hero Press and Big Orange Heart continue to work together. But personally, I think mental health, I've seen the challenges. We've been in tech for 25 years. Again, as a stay-at-home mom, I struggled with my own work from home isolation. Those things don't change whether you're, working on a computer or not working on a computer. So to be able to be a part of the charity that is really working for the good of everyone, it's very universal. And being a part of the team, it's like 2 weeks ago on our Wednesday, like all staff call, we kind of just laughed our way through it, 2 weeks out from the event, and we're just all laughing. And it's been like that. I mean, of course we face problems, but there haven't been arguments. There's been a lot of cross collaboration. There's been a lot of working together. And I feel like I'm really building friendships that are going to carry on long into the future. And it has to do with it's a mental health charity. They're cranky people don't necessarily sign up to help with that kind of thing. But, it's just such a great group of people who really care about what they're doing. And then me,
Yeah, I'm so glad that mental health is getting that much attention, because that wasn't the case, say, like 2-3 years back. And I think this pandemic really brought that to the forefront, and urban loneliness and everything. And an initiative like WordFest really helps immensely.
Absolutely, we need to continue having these conversations. We need to be more open about mental health, and we need to just normalize the conversation in relation to it. And the more we can talk about it, the more we can do to have those conversations, then the better we are all going to benefit from it. So we're very, very happy that we have the opportunity to deliver an event such as WordFest, which has a very, it's obviously a focus around WordPress. We're there for the WordPress community, but equally we're making sure that obviously that well-being message is coming through. We've got a number of sessions. We've got I'm particularly excited. There's a chair yoga session. We've got de-stressing in under 10 minutes, another session. So there's several sessions that are very focused around kind of the well-being of the WordPress community and the remote working communities, or the wider remote working community's well-being.
Yeah, and we're seeing as WordPress moves closer and closer towards headless opportunities, that as tech is starting to kind of separate into individual pieces, that a remote worker, it does become a more global community. It offers opportunities for people who might not have considered WordPress to come in, people who are in WordPress to start reaching out to others. And so having Big Orange Heart there in the middle where they can support everyone, it's wonderful.
Yeah, a lot of continents people don't talk about mental health, and 2000 is a year where people have understood that there is a problem like that, and you need to address it, because not addressing it and keeping silent is not really the way to go. So
No, by simply sitting on to not addressing the issues, you're simply creating a greater issue.
Well, and if you grow up in a culture where you don't talk about it, then you don't have resources to work on it when you do realize that there's an issue. You don't know where to go. You don't, so that's one great thing about Big Orange Heart is there's a lot of opportunity for anonymity. There's a lot of opportunity for research on your own within the platform. You can reach out as much as you feel comfortable. You can reach out as little as you feel comfortable. It just provides a well-rounded opportunity for someone looking for help.
And just to mention the all the funds that are being raised through WordFest, whether that be the sponsor funds from sponsorship or through public donations through the events, all of those funds are going directly into the creation or the further development of the Big Orange Heart Support Hub. So whilst we're delivering a virtual festival and coming together and enjoying and all that, spending that time together, actually the funds off the back of it are then enabling us to then deliver a much needed support service within our community. So it's really we're taking this thing which is a lot of fun, and we're really having fun with it, certainly bringing it together, and we hope that we'll have a lot of fun actually on the day itself, but that's actually enabling something much more long term within our community. So I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that has donated through the process. There is an optional donation, optional $10 donation when you register. That is entirely optional. The tickets are available for free. And again, big thank you to all of our sponsors, but also to our micro sponsors, which is an opportunity when you register through the event. A micro sponsorship enables you to have your brand exposed through this process, whilst also helping raise funds for the charity.
yes, a small donation, if it can help such a good cause, then it's worth the donation. I would definitely suggest, if people have the capacity, come donate, because it is supporting a good cause.
And we're so thankful for that. But even if you can't donate, register for free. It really helps us grow this event. It helps us show the sponsors that this is something the community is behind and supporting. Make sure you talk to our sponsors, interact with them, tell them how thankful you are that they're there. Those kinds of things can seem small, but they really help us grow in the future.
Yes, they do. Like in my first WordCamp, a lot of people were tweeting talks and a lot of people were taking pictures and tweeting. And I didn't know what was going on. So when I was speaking to my colleague, he's like, no, you need to tweet talks. You need to, you need to engage on social media and all. And from there onwards, all my WordCamp talks, I used to tweet. The hardest part I used to find was on the day of the event, you need to find the Twitter profiles of speakers. But there are a lot of speakers for WordFest, like who's actually submitted their Twitter handles in their own bio. Like yesterday, I was going through, and I'll give a shout out to all the speakers. Thank you for thinking about the attendees. Thank you for thinking about us, because sometimes it's not easy to find out Twitter bio or Twitter handle. So thank you to all the speakers for doing that a little extra effort.
Absolutely, yes. And if you head over to the Big Orange Heart Twitter, so at Big Orange Heart, so at a Big Orange Heart, sorry, on Twitter, there is a WordFest Live 2021 speakers list. So you can actually gain, you can see all of the speakers in one Twitter list nice and easily. So if they want to send a thank you to any of them, then that's a great way to do it.
Yes, that is amazing for the social team to put it out there and help people look for them as well.
Absolutely.
I think social media is very important, especially for online events. And if you guys are tuning in, please use your social media and try to uh, sh- share awareness about this as much as possible. It's just one tweet or a Facebook post. It makes a difference. It makes a lot of difference.
And it really helps us achieve our goal, which is inclusion and a global voice. If we don't get other people talking about it, we can't include your global voice in what we're trying to accomplish. I mean, we're a group mostly centered in London and the Eastern time zone of the US, but we really care about all of, everyone around the globe, but we just can't be everywhere at once. So we want to hear what you have to say. We want to see things from your perspective. We want to see what you're enjoying. It makes everybody's life richer. I like to think of it like brownies. The more we interact with each other, the more we share pieces of ourselves, we become rich like brownies.
True, true, absolutely. And I think for an event like Big Orange Heart WordFest, which is about conversation and interaction, I think when you document it, you really show people, not in a way that, hey, you're missing this out, but no, hey, you can also be part of this. It gives them a glimpse of what will happen once they become part of it, and really encourages them.
Yeah, and we're planning to keep registration open through the event as much as what the platform will handle, which is quite a bit, so that you can jump in at any time. You can come over, get your free ticket, and you can just join. And then again, if you miss a session, they'll be there for you to watch that day or later on.
And that really helps. That really helps.
Absolutely. And it is about, this is about a global event and a global community. So we want to ensure that it is open and available to all.
Exactly. That makes all the difference. Making it as inclusive and easy for everyone and accessible.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been interesting. One of the big positives that we've seen coming out of this very difficult times has been around the events specifically. We run regular events every month, and our audience has changed drastically. We've now got members from over 100 different global locations, and it's fantastic to see that we're having these incredible discussions through our events. I mean, even right now, as we mentioned at the start, we're sitting here, we've got 3 time zones in this one call right now, and it's just demonstrated how easy it is that we can collectively come together, but then the mix and the diverse conversations that we can then have in that, the richness that can come out of those conversations is fantastic.
Exactly. I think this event is, again, I'll keep on repeating, is really well timed and much needed. One of the reasons for it to be in such a huge scale. Yeah.
So whoever have not registered or whoever have not heard about WordFest, go to wordfest.live, register, take a look at the speaker lineup, take a look at the sponsors, shout out to them. It's going to be pretty informative, and you will learn something, something new on that day.
Or else you can just retweet it to your followers, and I think that will also make a lot of difference. Just bring awareness. And if you may not be able to, for some reason, not be part of it, there might be people in your connection who can benefit.
Yeah, you never know whose life you're going to change, whether it's somebody looking to make a job change or grow their business, or who needs, is facing some mental health challenges right now that hasn't even said anything. Putting information in front of people, like the world always wins.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Dan and Cate, would you like to share any last thoughts to our amazing audience?
I think just if you have the ability to join us for WordFest Live, then please do. It's there is this opportunity to come together and be a community together at this time. We can come together as friends, we can come together as a community. As we've mentioned, there's a lot of educational content in there as well, as so you've got a number of different reasons to be in and amongst this event. So I just look forward to seeing everybody and just being a community again and being collectively together again. It may not be quite the same as the in person, but we're trying the best that we can with what we have.
Yeah, I mean, I just echo what Dan says, or said, and along that lines too, though, look for something new you can learn. Try out a speaker you haven't heard before. Talk to somebody new that you haven't had a chance to. You just really never know when those conversations are going to really change your life.
Agreed. And a small insider, this show is because of WordCamp, because I and Ferry met at a WordCamp, and I was viewing her talk, and after her talk, I went and approached her and said, I've learned a lot of things. From that day onward, that connection, that spark is led to this amazing podcast.
Actually, and that was so interesting. I mean, we never thought that like 5 years back we're gonna start a podcast, and you never know who you're gonna meet. You will never know what kind of friendships you're gonna meet. So I think that potential, that potential is like beautiful, and I think everyone should give it a chance.
Definitely. So, Ferry, your last words to our amazing audience.
Okay, go to a big orange heart and WordFest. Look at all the speakers. I have seen all the speakers. They are amazing. I'm sure you want to watch all of them. So select the people you want to watch and go. And if you cannot, please retweet or go to social media and share and be part of it. It's gonna be really good. Please browse through the website, go through their stuff. It's fun. I've done it. I'm sure you're gonna find it something really useful and interesting.
Yes, definitely. Go register for your ticket. There are a lot of interesting 48 speakers. I'm sure you'll find some topic which interests you. Like
Absolutely.
like as Dan said, the yoga exercise on the chair. I was like, okay, I need to attend this.
Okay.
I need to get this on my calendar. Though even if it's not in my time zone, I want to see if I can go and attend it. Because it's something you never think about it. So
You just want to see how it's going to be implemented, right? It's like, okay, this can also happen. I'm curious, this can also happen. I mean, that's such an interesting times, interesting event. So I think just to see how it's even going on, you should check it out. And the best part is that it is free, so you can try out. So why not? I mean, I'm asking you reason why not.
also it's not only, people are not only talking about mental health or only WordPress. There are a lot of topics out there. 48 speakers, there are lots. So don't think it's only a tech event or, like I'm not a WordPress developer, I'm not a WordPress blogger, I'm not a WordPress user. So, uh, this will not interest me. But no, you learn something about uh, working together, you learn something about mental health, you learn something different, you learn something new, you'll meet new people, you may not want to attend session, but go and interact with other people who are there, join a table. You may find a new friend in 2021 because of WordFest. So I would definitely recommend everyone to go and register and see you on the event day. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Ferry, for this amazing 1 hour fun conversation. It's a pleasure to have both of you all on the show.
It's
Thanks.
been a
It
real
was,
pleasure. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you
it's
so
just been
much.
a delight to meet you.
Yeah. I would like to say last thing to our audience. The possibilities are endless. Try to be part of as many events as possible, because I've been part of many events, WordPress events, WordCamps, so has Meher, and this has happened. And now look at us, like we are hosting, we're doing a media partnership with something so beautiful, something that really makes an impact. So when you put yourself out there, no matter how introverted you are, you feel like no one's going to talk to you. No, this is a very accessible and happy place. So please try out, please check it out, and I'm sure you're going to have a lovely time.
Thank you to everyone. Stay
Thank
tuned. The next episode, we are going to have a little teaser. Next episode, we're going to have more people from the organizing team of WordPress. So stay tuned for the next episode.